places that you read about. They're right around the Sea of Galilee. And of course, one of the most famous examples in the Bible of his power and teaching is right here on the Sea of Galilee. You remember many of them were fishermen that he called. And we have a special time here in the Scriptures where Jesus actually sends his disciples ahead of him. Now, this is an interesting one because it's a little different from when Jesus was in the boat and he was asleep. This one is a little different, and a storm comes up upon the sea. And what occurred is that Jesus sends the disciples ahead of him, and he begins to pray for them. My opinion is he probably is praying because he knows that they're about to undergo a test or a storm. Now why? First of all, God often sends storms when in fact there's something in our life that needs to be solved or moved. And what occurred with this particular time is John the Baptist had just been beheaded. And sometimes people lose their head over religion. Never mind. Anyway, John was one of those who lost their head over religion, and the disciples were probably a little freaked out about it. I mean, what was going to happen to them? I mean, if this happens to John, who was such a righteous man, would God allow them also to be harmed? Well, Jesus sends them out ahead of time on the boat and purposely stays back. A storm comes. Why? God often sends exterior storms when there is an interior storm brewing. Why? So he can bring you to the place where you understand yourself, and so that you can clarify what you really believe. Well, what occurs is the storm begins to really get a little rough, and the disciples are out here, and they don't have as nice a boat as this, in all honesty. We're going to show you one of the boats from Jesus' time. It's not this nice, not this big, and it doesn't have a motor. So they're not going to just whip up the motor and get out of here. What they're going to do is they're going to have to, by brute strength, push against the storm to the other side, which in all honesty, when you're rowing, doesn't really do as well. So they're out here in the middle, and all of a sudden they see a figure walking to them. Well, they think that that's it for them. They think that they're seeing a ghost and they're all going to die. But Jesus says something very powerful. He says, "Take courage. It is I." In the midst of our storms, if we can see Jesus coming to us and hear his words, "Take courage, it is I," somehow the storm does not seem as powerful nor as big. Now you remember the story too of Peter walking on the water. Now we're going to give you a chance to walk on the water too, just a little bit. No, I'm joking. But maybe when we get in the shore it might be a little bit easier. Okay? Megan, you're first. Alex, where are you? Okay. Okay. And here, imagine what it must have been like to be with Jesus right here. Well, you don't have to imagine. You can be with him right now. And so let's take some time. Let's bow our head. And let's be with Jesus on the Sea of Galilee.